I'm Sonic Sarwate and you're watching me on Femina X Grazia Virtual Beauty Carnival, and today I'm going to create this beautiful look for you, and I'm going to show you step by step a beautiful bright smoky eye and glowing skin. So let's start the makeup, and the first thing and the most important thing is the prep of the skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to moisturize her skin and lips and use a primer on her skin. You can use whatever works for you, any brand or any moisturizer that works for you, use that as prep. Okay, so now let's start with the moisturizer. So really massage it into the skin. And make sure that you moisturize the full face and also on forehead and properly on the neck also. Just making sure that the skin is really nicely moisturized. Use as much as required, but don't over moisturize your skin. If it's looking too greasy or slippery, then you can just take a tissue and dab it off so that there is not excess moisturizer on the skin. It should just feel plump and nicely moisturized. That's the trick. So if you feel that you need to dab it off, you can just dab it off slightly with a tissue like that, so that if there's any kind of excess moisturizer, that will get absorbed by the tissue. So you can see the skin looks nice and plump. Now I'm going to go with a primer, again using it all over the skin. Now what the primer will do is it will keep the moisture locked into the skin. At the same time, it will make it easy for foundation to blend and your makeup will last longer. Just nicely work it into the skin. Remember, this is a primer, so you don't have to massage it, you just have to apply it on the skin, making sure you use it all over on the neck and the face. Also, don't forget the lips. This is the right time when you want to use a lip conditioner on your lips. You can use a generous amount and use it all over the lips. Okay. So your skin is nicely prepped. Let's start with the next step, which is foundation. Now, I like to use foundation before my concealer because it gives me a fair idea of how much foundation I want to use and how much concealer I want to use. So you can use any foundation that is your favorite and start right from the center of the face and apply it where you need a little bit more coverage and blend it to the sides. Now that skin is prepped, let's start with the foundation. So you can use any foundation that you like to use. I'm starting right from the center of the face and blend it where you need a little bit more coverage. You know, usually it's around the mouth and under the eyes. So you can start there and then just blend it on the sides. That way you get good coverage where you need, and also you don't want to overdo the foundation. Start with less product and build it up. So I'm going to use the same thing on the other side. Starting right from the center. Now what happens is when you start from the center, it really makes sure that the center of the face is highlighted. Under the nose here and here, and then you just literally take the brush and blend it onto the sides. Also, I like to use a brush like this, which is really nice and fluffy, so it really blends the product into the skin, and I'm really buffing it so that it gives a nice sheer finish. You can use a beauty blender or a flat brush if you want to. I just like to use this because it gives a really nice sheer finish. Now, making sure that your neck is also nicely covered with the foundation. Just blend it all over the exposed area. Like if you have like a really deep neck, you want to just make sure that you go with your foundation there also. Just keep blending it, use a little bit product and add more if you need, rather than just adding a lot of product and then just blending it. I'm not a big fan of like putting on a lot of product and then just trying to keep blending it. It's really nice that if you just take a little bit, if you need more, you just blend it. Now, in certain areas where you need a little bit more coverage, you can take a little bit more foundation like this area and just pat it on. This will give you a little bit more coverage. Let's do it on the other side also. And here we go. Just a little bit close eyes. You can also go over your lid if you have a little bit of darkness over there and just blend it. This will give you a nice clean canvas ready to do any kind of makeup. And now, once I'm done with the foundation, I can see that there are a little bit of shadows under the eyes that I need to cover. So for that, I'm going to use a concealer. So literally right under the eyes here and here, I'm going to blend the concealer. I've just put few dots and I'm going with the concealer and blending it. Also, because she doesn't really have very dark circles, so I'm going a little bit brighter. But if you have really dark circles, you can also use a corrector before using a concealer. Now this has to go right into the center, a little bit on the forehead, whatever is left over on the brush, and into the center here so that it brightens up the face. This will also make sure that you get a nice good contour on the face. Okay, so that's how it looks with concealer. Now I'm just going to finish the base with a little bit of powder. I do not like to use too much powder, so start right under the eyes, very lightly, a little bit powder, and use it in the center of the face. Just lightly dab it and blend it all over the face. Make sure that you do not put too much powder on the cheeks and on the neck. This will set your foundation. And now I'm going to contour the face. What I'm using is a bronzer, and the technique is basically you just go right next to the hairline and on the jawline here underneath. Also follow the hollow of the cheek right under the cheekbone here, and you just go back and forth towards the ear and blend it. Keep it nice and soft and blend it. This should be really cupping the cheeks. You can feel the bone and you can just go against that and really blend it there, and you will get a nice contour. Use anything which is nice and matte or a natural matte finish. Also a shade which is like 2 to 3 shades darker than your skin tone will work for this. And then just blend it. Same thing here. And a little bit around here. You just want to frame the face with the bronzer. And there we go. That's nicely contoured. Also, if you like to contour the nose, you can just use the same bronzer, starting right on the side of the nose and come down straight, just lightly, and you can go straight down from here, almost like a U here, and that will contour your nose. Also, what I like to do is just use it right here and into the crease of the eye a little bit, so that will contour the eye. And there we have a nicely contoured face. So let's start with brushing the brows. Brush it nicely so that you can see the gaps. And then I like to use the pencil to draw the hair. Always start from the lower bit on the inner side and fill it in there where you see the gaps. Start drawing the hair. Just do the strokes in the direction of hair growth. And I'm just going to tan your face. Actually, here there's a little bit less hair, so I'm just going to draw it a little bit darker, and you want to make the arch a little bit stronger, so you can go there and nicely fill it in. Now when you're doing that, keep using the brush to brush it, and you will be able to see the shape. Use a color which is really close to your hair color, or even if it's a little bit lighter than the hair color, it's absolutely fine. Do not go very dark because it can look very artificial then. And I'm doing it very softly, and you can see that the shape of the brow is completely drawn. Especially on the inner corner, just make sure you really brush it up and soften the color like that, and do not have any visible lines which make it look very drawn and made up. And there we go. Okay, let's do the other one. Same thing again here. Brush and fill in the gaps. Sometimes when you do not have that much of gap, you may not have to fill in too much, so you can avoid filling. If you have quite a lot of strong shape, then you don't have to fill this much. You can fill it a little bit lesser. Now it all depends on what kind of brows you have. If they're very well defined and you need a little bit less or more, you can decide that. Keep the pencil strokes really light and keep brushing them. Especially on the inner corner here, and you can see we've got a nice shape of the brows right now. See? Yeah. And just brush it. So now I'm going to start with eye makeup, and I'm using regular kohl pencil. Just close your eyes and lining the eyes with this. Don't worry about the line, you can just go back and forth and make any kind of line. Use any kajal pencil that you have to do this and line the eyes. And I'm going to take a smudging brush and go back and forth with that and smudge this line. You can see it's really easy. Just go light-handedly and start smudging it. Just make sure that it's really dark near the lash line and fading into the skin completely as we go up, and blend it. Same thing I'm going to do on the other side. You can see it just looks nice and smoky. Just slightly use any kind of strokes on the eye and make a line. You don't have to worry about a clean line. And with a smudging brush, just using the tip, just smudge the color. Soften it completely and fade it into the skin color. Keep blending it and get a nice soft edge. You can see it looks really nice and smoky. And now I'm going to use a blue eyeshadow. I'm using a fluffy brush, and right into the crease here, you can fit your brush and start blending it on the eye and into the crease. Nicely work it into the eye color here. Just nicely blend it into the crease. Can intensify the color a little bit more onto the outer corners. You get a nice blue smokiness on the top, and soften the edges completely. Starting from the corner and blending it all over the lid. Just go into the crease and blend it there. You will find this, like once you put the brush there, you will find that hollow, and keep blending it there. Intensify the corners a little bit more than the rest of the eye, which will give you a nice shape. You can also do it with another color. If you like to do a brown or a plum or any other color like a green or anything that you want to do, you can use it and get the same effect. Okay, let's see. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to also line the eyes inside. So now I'm going to use kohl pencil onto the waterline here. Just go into back and forth motion so that you get like really intense color. Let the kajal come out a little bit, like that. Just look down. Also, I like to line the eyes on top waterline, so inside here. Okay, just look up again. Nicely apply it onto the waterline. Just look down and apply it on the inner side also, on the top. And now again with a smudging brush, as I said, just look up again. Just make sure that you put a lot of kajal in your eyes and let it come out towards the roots of the lashes, and just using a smudging brush, smudge it. You can see it just gives it a nice smoky look. Let's look up again. Now when you're doing this, like, you can just really extend the eye a little bit on the outer corner and intensify the color a little bit more and join it onto the top. Blend the edges and keep it really soft. See? And I'm going to go back with my blue eyeshadow and just look up, smudge it right over to the kohl here. Look up again, right outside I'm going to smudge, and there you go, you get like a nice blue smoky. You can also do it with a brown or a plum or any color that you like to do. Just take a little bit color and go back and forth and nicely blend it down. Just close your eyes. You can also intensify the color onto the inner corners here and blend it into the eye shape. Again, I'm taking a fluffy brush and going into the crease and blending it there, just to make it really nice and soft. And there we have it. And now I'm going to apply lots of mascara, so don't be shy, you can use as much you want, really starting from the top and going from bottom and applying a lot of mascara. I'm a big fan of using a lot of mascara, so you can use as much you want. And you can see how mascara makes a lot of difference. Go from the top once so that you're coating your lashes from top, and then going from bottom like that, and just keep applying mascara. Also use mascara on the lower lashes. You can just use the brush straight up like that and go on to the lower lashes. Oh, that looks insane. A really nice lower lash. Can use a brush like that, it just gives you a lot of definition, and you can apply a lot of mascara without smudging it. Also, you can just do like 2 or 3 coats, which will really make the lashes look intense. Just look up again. I'm going to do another coat here. Okay, so that's mascara. Now, one thing which I really like to do is add a lot of sparkle, and for that I'm going to use this really nice sparkly eyeshadow, which is not opening. Okay. So now I'm going to use this really nice sparkly eyeshadow just with my finger and right on to the center of the eye. I'm just going to blend it like that and give it a beautiful sparkle. So right onto the lid on the center and just blend it. And there we have a lot of sparkle and shimmer. Also with my smudging brush, I'm going to take a little bit and put it on to the inner corners here. And blend it lightly. And there we have. And that's a nice sparkly eye. So that's a beautiful sparkly eye. If you want to take it one notch higher, you can also add false lashes on this. So now I'm done with the eye makeup, and let's finish the makeup with some blush. I'm just going to add a nice neutral coral blush right on the apple of the cheek and blend it along with the contour. Just a very subtle blush because the eye makeup is so strong. I want to keep everything else quite neutral. A little bit everywhere, you can just use this. And now I'm going to use a highlighter, which I love to use on high cheekbone here. Blend it nicely and over to the forehead here a little bit on the nose, on the cheeks here. Just see that when you turn towards the light, where the light hits the face, just use the highlighter there and blend it lightly all over, a little bit on your forehead, and again right here, and blend it nicely. I like to take the brush like all over the face a little bit so that you get that nice glow all over the skin. A little bit over the lip here, and if your collarbones are showing, I also like to use a little bit there so that you have that nice glow going all over the skin. Little bit I'm going to use under the brows here and blend it. And now to finish the look, I'm just going to add a little bit of lip. I'm using something very neutral for her so that the focus is completely on the eyes. You can just use your favorite natural nude lipstick, just dabbing it onto the lip, and that's the final look. She is absolutely glowing in this, and the focus is completely on the eyes, so we have kept the lips neutral. You can absolutely wear it with a mask or anywhere you want to. And hope you enjoyed this session, and thank you for joining.